Yo, 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 what is up, YouTube? It is the Junkie, and I'm back with a funny slash shitty video. You guys know I love going to the flea market, and I like looking for good deals and new hobbies to try to get into. A couple guys at work, they collect Pokemon, and I thought, I see Pokemon cards at the flea market all the time, and I thought that let me see if I can jump in and find them on the cheap and, find another hobby to pick up, when I can find them. So I went to the flea market Saturday. Nothing was going on. There was no comics. There was comics, but I've already looked through them. There were no movies. There was nothing really going on. So I was walking down the center aisle where all the people that pay for the weekend to show up, and I just happened to see a guy selling Pokemon cards, as you see in front of you, and I got scammed. I know nothing about Pokemon cards. I know there's fakes, and I should have been smart enough to figure out that more than likely these were going to be fakes, but I took a chance. I asked the guy how much he wanted, and he said they range from $4 to $6 a pack. And I thought, okay, that seems kind of reasonable because, people go to the flea market to get rid of shit. They got stuff in their house. They've got stuff they bought online that they don't want anymore or whatever. But I should have known better. So I asked him, I said, how much for everything? Probably 90, maybe 100 packs total. I had opened some already. So there's a few packs missing from this lot here. So he said, how about $80? And right there should have been a red flag. And he's like, oh, it's the holiday weekend, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a great deal. And now granted, this is around 8:30. The flea market opens at 8, so the guy apparently he was still kind of setting up, and he was selling like shoes and jerseys and shit, and he had these. And he had a box of open Pokemon cards and Magic cards in packs of 10 in a Ziploc bag for $3 a piece. So I thought, hey, I'll take a chance. $80. Yeah, it sucks, but how many deals do I find at the flea market for comic books? Finding $100 books, $200 books for $1, 50 cents, whatever. So I took a shot. I looked at the packs. And if you look at the packs, like I said, I have nothing. I know zero about Pokemon. Absolutely zero about Pokemon. But I did notice, I do know some of the names of the sets that the guys at work talk about that I know are pretty big, and I know Prismatic Evolutions, I know that's one. Destined Rivals, I know that's a pretty big set that people talk about. I've heard of Shining Fates, and I've never heard of this one. Paldea Evolved, I've never heard of that set there, but basically he had a whole case, what I guess they call a booster box, of the Shining Fates and the Paldea Evolved. And he had, in a small brown, Amazon box, these two piles. Now, there's probably 4 more packs of these that I opened just to look at. And a small, brown, a box you would get from, Amazon. So he had these packs, in there sideways. And he also threw... When they start throwing shit in for free, I should have known better. But it was $80. It's a lot of money, but it's not. He threw in a bunch of these packs here, these soccer cards. They're, more than likely, they're probably fake too, but he threw in a big old stack of these. So I got a bunch of cards for $80, and I thought I scored. So I buy them. I get out to my car. I text my buddy, send him some pictures, and he goes, oh man, I think those are fake. So I had no idea. He's like, go get your money back. I'm like, it's the flea market. I'm not going to hassle a guy over $80, but I probably should have. But, if I don't know anything about Pokemon. Like I said, I don't know anything about Pokemon. So I try to look up packs, and I noticed the packs on the back. Once I looked online, the back of the pack is what really kind of threw me off. There's things missing, things not what they're supposed to be. The wording is kind of off a little bit, so on the real Pokemon packs, there's only 1 or 2 words in the very last line. This one has a whole sentence. There was little things that I'm like, okay, yeah, he's right. They're probably fake. So I opened a few packs, and you know, I did some research on YouTube, online, and if you notice down here on the bottom, right there, there's the date, and I noticed that on the real Pokemon cards, the date's not there. It's over on the side over here. So that was a red flag. The backs look pretty good. I watched videos and they said look for this little white dot there, and these cards have that. So I was like, the coloring's kind of off. It's more of a purple on some of these and blue. These packs are like really hard to open, and I've opened a lot of packs because I used to collect sports cards. So these packs are like, they're so hard to open that you got to cut the tops. That's how hard it is to open these packs. So I'm like, all right. So there were some hits, and this is where I knew. I watched videos on them. I guess the foil background doesn't really affect the character unless it's like his eyes or something. And this one is like foil all the way through, like over the character and stuff. See the dates down there, and these are just some of the hits that were in these. I mean, it sucks because I really thought, man, I scored. I score pretty good at the flea market, and I thought, well, this guy kind of, maybe he just doesn't know what he's got. I don't know. So I'm just showing you guys the hits of the packs that I opened. So any Pokemon collectors out there, whatever. But these are just a few, I guess, of what you would call the hits. Now, this is my first foray into, and I know there was a couple things where you shine a flashlight or a light on the backside. If the light shines through, then they're fake, because apparently Pokemon, the actual company, puts like a black cardboard or something in between the two pieces, and they said you could tear a card and find out. So we'll just pick out a random card here. They're worthless anyway, so. But that's another test I did. I did the light, and the light shone through. And here you can see there's no black cardboard, so they're obviously very fake. But they're pretty cool, and I did spend $80 on them. So my question is to you guys. I know I got scammed, and I'm not a real big Pokemon guy. What should I do with these cards? I know I can't sell them because they're fake. I mean, I could give them to a kid of a buddy at work, has got a grandkid or something, and they can have fun. But I don't want to do that and have these kids open these packs, because, they're kids. They don't know any better. And open these packs and get, like, a hit and be like, oh, my God, I got a $3,000 card or $100 card. I was thinking about just opening the packs and just keeping them. Put them in a card box and just keeping them. It's money I spent. But let me have your opinions, guys. I know I should have known better. It's the flea market. I mean, unless you really, I know comics. So I know when I see a fake, or not that people really fake comics, because you're not going to really see any real big books at the flea market. But I just, I want your guys' opinion, whether you're a subscriber or you stumble upon my video because of the Pokemon title or whatever. And I know I've seen a lot of videos and people rip like fake Pokemon cards and shit like that. Just want your opinion. What should I do? Should I just toss them? Should I just open the packs and keep the cards and just put them in a box? Because I did spend $80, and I've learned my lesson. So my foray into Pokemon was one and done. I am good on Pokemon. Now, I did do some Black Friday shopping, and I did look in the stores I went in, and if there was something that I thought that people at work talked about that, are good to buy, I would have got them. But, like, Phantasmal Flames, I guess that's a big set now. If I would have found them in the wild at a legit store, I probably would have bought some if they're a reasonable price. But these here, I just stumbled upon them. I was on my way out of the flea market anyways, and I thought, well, $80 is not too big of a risk, but I should have known 100 packs, and he wanted 4 to 6, so what he was going to try to get was $400 to $600, and he sold them to me for $80. That should have been a red flag. And to get, I don't know, 30 packs of free soccer cards. And I don't even know if these are real. I have no idea, but let me show you guys just the back of some of these, the pack of some of these cards. Again, I mean, they look, if you, like me, I'm not. I don't like I said. I knew absolutely zero about Pokemon, but somebody like me, when I like legit, I thought these were like legit packs. I mean, they look real. But what I should have done is went off to the side and maybe snapped a few of these pictures of some of these packs and then researched online before I jumped the gun. But I got nervous. I thought, hell, if I don't buy them, somebody's going to walk behind me and get them, and then I'm going to miss out on a huge deal. Like this pack here, now that I've done some research, I know this little piece here is not on the real pack. But it is what it is. And this pack here, I think this is the pack here that my buddy Greg was like, nope, they're fake. Because I guess back here, the background is like a purple or like a dark purple or something, and this here is red. But I mean, they look legit. I mean, for somebody that doesn't I'm coming at you guys as somebody that knows nothing about Pokemon. They look legit. I thought fake Pokemon cards, because I never really saw videos on the packs. I've always saw them on the cards. So, I mean, I thought these were the real deal, man. But there you go, guys. Just a video of my experience into Pokemon, and I am one and done unless I find them out in the wild from a legit store. At retail, I am not paying enormous $200-300 for a box of cards. No, I'm not doing that. But give me your thoughts, opinions, your point of views, your ideas of what you would do with these cards. Like I said, I may just open them. I may not even open them. I may just put these all in a box and just keep them and just put them in the closet. They're not going to take up any space. But anyways, guys, thought it'd be a different video, my experience into Pokemon. And, yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Like, thumbs up, subscribe, give me your opinions. It's the Junkie, and I'm out. Peace. Beware of the fake Pokemon.